Hi, today from Montevideo in Uruguay. Today we will be talking about how your geography impacts your thinking, how it impacts your worldview and the model of the world you have and how you understand the world. See you after a short break. Hi again from Uruguay. So how does your geography impact your thinking, your worldview, your understanding of the world? You have to understand everybody has a limited worldview. Nobody knows everything and everybody has some biases and some filters that change the perception of the world. Nobody sees the world as it is. And there is a nice inscription in a bookstore close by, La Libreria Más Puro Verso. It says, Veritas Fia Mendaci Est. It means the truth is a daughter of lies. What does it mean? You can take politics, for example. In order to get to the truth, you have to listen to the lies of each side, right? Every side or each side tells their story, their part of the truth, so kind of a lie. And in order to find out about the truth, you have to just put together both sides or several aspects of like different lies about the world in order to be able to extract the truth. And in the science, it's the same, right? Every theory is a kind of a lie. It's a partial it has only a partial understanding of the world, and you have to dig through all the lies, understand them and test them in order to be able to get to the truth, right? In this sense, the truth is somehow a descendant of the lie. You need the lies, so to say, or the partial truth in order to be able to get to the truth. And it is the same with everybody, with every location, so to say. So depending on where you live, your country, already your language shapes your understanding of the world. Wittgenstein, the German philosopher, he discovered actually that the language gives you your understanding of the world, gives you your world model, right? Depending on how you talk to yourself, this is how you see the world. You can see it in many languages, or in all languages. They are these sayings, they are these mottos that somehow transport this understanding of the world, right? For example, in my language, there is this saying to drive somebody out to a place where pepper grows. Means somewhere there is no escape, there is no way back. So far away, he can't come back. And of course, meanwhile, I have been in many countries where pepper grows, and I came back to Europe, to Northern Europe, or to Middle Europe, to Central Europe. So there is, of course, a way back. I mean, you can come back. The world isn't infinite anymore, or doesn't seem infinite anymore. I traveled also many times around the world. This saying, it's just a saying, but it somehow transports this understanding that it usually in every language has meaning something on the other side of the world. It is considered unrealistic, unreal, and somehow also sometimes more luxurious and sometimes more exotic, right? For example, if you are in the States, all the most, let's say, luxurious clubs or maybe restaurants, they are called maybe with the names of like Bali or maybe in Europe from the Mediterranean, like maybe Venice or Saint-Tropez, or or Creta, stuff like that. That sounds in American, or maybe San Remo, in American ear, they sound so far away, so luxurious, so upper scale, whatever, just because they are far away. But usually they are maybe not as extravagant, not as luxurious as you would think. It is the same in Europe, right? The best clubs, the best restaurants, coffee places, they are called maybe American names, like Hawaii, maybe, or Honolulu, or maybe Las Vegas, or maybe I don't know, maybe Acapulco, right? Or Rio, right? Because this sounds to Europeans as far away, exotic, and so on. So you see, this is somehow, depending on the geography, your understanding of the world, of what is luxurious or what is costly. Of course, it is like costly to go far places, but it doesn't mean they are immediately on higher standard. They have higher standard. Okay, so this is one thing. Another thing is also independent of the mentality, because I'm not talking about mentality of cultural, differences, like religious differences or different cultures. No, it is true for everybody in the world that we see, the world just one-sided, right? Or we have our limitations in our perception of the world. And I remember when I went to Granada, I think, and I was talking to a taxi driver and asked him, where did he travel? And he said, no, he stayed in Granada all his life. And you have to realize Granada is a small country, and I'm not sure if this was Granada or maybe it was, no, it was probably Granada. It's a small country, 20 by 20 kilometers, and all he has seen in his life was this one small island, right? So, everything about the world practically he knows only from the TV. So, for example, he didn't see a train, right? Because there are no trains on such a small island. Or he has never seen underground, a subway. Or he, like a normal, like European style or American style coffee place, because there are not such coffee places. Granada is relatively a poor country because of the hurricanes and so on. It was destroyed many times. Or something like a walking area with coffee places, restaurants, and so on, and shops, luxurious, or like a department store. He hasn't seen things like that. So everything he knows about these things, he may realize there are such things in the world, of course, but he has seen that only on the TV or maybe in the movies, but never with his own eyes. He has never experienced such things, right? So and everybody has such things that he has never experienced, he has never seen, things that are maybe for other people everyday life. Another thing, and this is even more, let's say, strange, right? Just several months ago I was to the Maldives, and need to know the main island, Malé, of Maldives, is like maybe 3 kilometers by 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometers, like very small island. And there is another one connected to that, which is maybe twice the size. But generally, so like 2 miles by 1 mile, and another one which is maybe 3 miles by 1 mile, right? Connected. And I was talking again to a taxi driver, and he asked me where I'm from, and I said, Germany, and so on. And he says, Germany, I have an aunt in Germany. And it turns out she lives like 150 kilometers from me. She said, like, in Baden-Baden, Germany, and I thought, okay, it's 50, let's say 100 miles away from me. And he then took took out his phone, his mobile, showed me her picture, her photo, and asked me, "So, do you know her?" And I was surprised. I mean, why wouldn't I know her, right? But he was serious about the question. He wanted to know if I know her, because of course he had this understanding. Maldives, you have to understand, on this island, small island, there are like 200,000 people, and this is the largest island in the Maldives. There are other islands which are even smaller, so everybody generally knows everybody. So you could assume if I live in the same country, I would know her, but he apparently doesn't realize it's not a country like his, when the largest distance between 2 points is like maybe 10 kilometers or 8 miles, right? When he was driving a taxi in a straight line, 5 miles only, or maybe 10 kilometers. And in his country, 200,000 people on this small island, everybody has seen everybody already, and probably knows him or her. But in my country there are 80 million people, and they are like much larger distances and so on. So the probability that I have ever seen her is extremely low, and that I know her is even lower. But he was serious about that, because this is his understanding, his perception of the world. He doesn't realize how many people there are in the world, and how many people there are in an average country, let's say in Europe, and how big the distances are, right? And the probability of knowing somebody. Right now you could say, okay, but we are, world citizens, or we travel the world many times, and many countries, and we don't have such biases. But I tell you one bias that probably everybody has. I spend most of my time in Northern Hemisphere, and I remember once being in Sydney, and I was sitting in a coffee place outside, and of course I wanted to sit in the shade because it was hot and so on. So I chose a table that will stay in the shade as long as possible. But suddenly, like 5 minutes later, I am sitting in the sun, and I was surprised. But then I realized, of course, the sun in the southern hemisphere is going another way around. If you are in the northern hemisphere, the sun is in the south and goes from the east to the west. That means following the clock, right? The clock direction, or clockwise. But if you are in the southern hemisphere, the sun is in the north, and if it goes from east to west, it goes in the other direction, not the clockwise direction, the opposite to the clockwise direction. So that way I was wrong about the table, and I realized that, of course, and of course you know that, but you don't have it like internalized, because your life experience is always, the sun goes always in this direction, and you just subconsciously just count on that, or like count with that, or like predict the future with that knowledge. And there are a lot of these subconscious choices, or these subconscious pieces of knowledge that you use in your life, but they are only relative. They are not valid in every situation, in every place in the world, apparently. And I was reminded of this because, of course, in Sydney, then I realized, I made it clear to me, and I said, of course, and so on. But now I was in Buenos Aires like yesterday, and I had a similar experience. Chose a table again in the shade, in a position where it will be as long as possible in the shade, and guess what? 5 minutes later, I am fully in the sun. And I have this aha experience again, and saying, okay, again, I was caught in this misconception. Of course, I am again in the southern hemisphere, and the sun goes in the other direction. And I knew that. I had that in my knowledge, I had that internalized, but still, my subconscious mind told me which table to choose to be optimal, you know, like in the sense of sitting in the shade. And I was wrong again. I was caught in this misconception. I just assumed, you know, it will work the same as always, but I forgot about, you know, considering the hemisphere I'm in. So this is how your geography impacts your worldview, how your geography impacts your thinking. If you consider all these biases, all these misconceptions, and don't assume your subconscious will always guide you correctly, and then you have the chance to actually get to the truth, right? So if you like this video, give me a thumb up. If not of course, thumb down. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Share this video with your loved ones, with your friends. I talk here a lot about how the world works, about money, about business, how the best entrepreneurs in our life, in our world think and act, how our self-made billionaires think and act. I talk also about economy, about doing great, impossible things in life and business. So if you like this video, I invite you to watch my other videos. That's it for today from Montevideo, Uruguay. I wish you a fantastic day. Let's do something extraordinary today.